Made to revert to a seven-a-side game that has now become an Olympic sport. Next year, I'm Willie Losane, alongside me a man that needs no introduction, and in fact he's a former Randwick, New South Wales, 25 caps for Australia, one of the all-time greats. The London Observer said that he was the detonator which explodes brilliance into the back line, and Bob Dwyer, in his autobiography Winning Way, said that he was the #1 for mastery of the game structure. Of course, it is none better than Mark Allen. Mark, welcome to Port Moresby.
Mate, I'm delighted to be here, Willie, particularly with an expert like you.
Now, look, first question I suppose is, look, this is going live back to Australia. How big a deal is it for Australia to be involved in the Pacific Games?
It is. Obviously, in those 53 years, we haven't been invited, so this year is important. Along with New Zealand, we're supplying 4 teams. Australia is part of the Pacific, and we've got a big Pacific culture in the country, and it's glad that I'm obviously working with NITV to provide live coverage of this event.
We've been to a couple of the events that have been happening, the weightlifting and also the basketball. What's been your impression of the games?
Oh, it's been fantastic. I mean, the rivalry between the nations is fantastic. The talent is exceptional. I went to the swimming last night and saw 3 world records broke, or not world records, Pacific Games records broken. I spent a lot of time at the weightlifting, thanks to you, Will. I know now more about weightlifting than I've ever done before. The basketball has all been competitive. The athletes are switched on. The venues are fantastic, and just a great event. Just
picking up on that point about the venues, they've spent millions of dollars getting Port Moresby, getting Papua New Guinea ready for the games. These stadiums and places that we've been to, surely they're just as good as anywhere around the world.
You could be in any place in the world. You're dead right. I mean, St John Guy Stadium, where obviously where the Sevens are going to be played today, is fabulous. The basketball and the Olympic pool, the pool is again first class. So, the Papua New Guinea people and athletes should be proud of what their government has achieved. It's a great venue, and I think sport in this country is going to get bigger and bigger.
We're here for the Sevens, and in particular, pressure on the Australians. They come in as the hot favourites, finishing 3rd in the World Series this year. How much added pressure is there on the Australians to do well in this sport?
I think the women have already qualified for the Olympic Games next year. They've got some sort of they've got a development team, so they've got 8 new caps. But I think the expectation is still pretty high. We've got to come here, and I think we can do pretty well. Whether we can win the gold medal will depend on how they play, but it's going to be a tough start against Fiji, that's for sure.
Is that the right thing by coach Tim Walsh to bring in 8 debutants? I mean, what's he trying to achieve here?
Well, obviously he's got the Olympics in mind. We need to obviously build a lot more depth in our Sevens program. We've been up the top 2 or 3 for the last few years in Sevens rugby, and we've performed very well on the international circuit. I guess he's just trying to give these guys experience, particularly under this type of pressure.
Now, I can tell you a bit about the Fijian women because I've seen them over the last couple of years on the series circuit. Naingato is a very good player, so is Vondo. Their captain, Ana Maria Rongetha, has a lot of class, as does Luisa Tesolo. Who should we be watching out from the Australians?
Well, obviously, I've got a favourite in Tanisha Stanton, one of the Indigenous girls. She's come across from playing netball and touch football. She lives in Newcastle. She's a very robust player, and I think, again, Talina Simons, again, another Indigenous player, is very quick. But some of the younger players I don't know a lot about, but hopefully by the end of this tournament, they'll be all big names.
Mark, you've picked up on 2 things there, the Indigenous players. How are they getting involved, and are there more of them actually getting involved in sport in Australia?
Well, they are. And in terms of rugby sevens, they're coming through. Obviously, a lot of these girls would have played rugby league. They would have played touch football. And so they're gradually coming into rugby generally. And I guess like I did when I was young, Sevens was my first opportunity in the big time before going on to 15s, and I think this is the pathway for more Indigenous athletes to play rugby. A
question
union.
I want to ask you, and I don't know, you've probably been asked this a million times as well. You retired at 25. Why did you retire so young?
Willie, I had other things to do. I guess rugby was amateur, and it was great travelling around the world. I've been to some amazing countries, met some amazing people, but at the end of the day, I had to settle down. I had to get a job, which is unusual for the elite sportsman at the moment, but just needed to move on to other things.
One of the real special traits that I always remember about you as a player was your ability to stand closer to the scrum than most first fives did, and your ability to take the ball forward. Is that similar in sevens? Is that what these players need to do, is take the direct route?
Well, it's always quicker. The direct route is always the quickest way to the try line.
And the teams make their way out onto the stadium here. Sir John Guy's Outdoor Stadium, BSP, the major sponsor, the Bank of South Pacific. Fiji in their traditional white and black strip. And the Australians in the green and gold. Fijians come in ranked 8th in the world on the World Series, Australia 3rd, and it's great to have them here. We've waited 52 long years to have the Australians on board in the Pacific Games. Willie Lose with you, joined in commentary by Mark Ella. I hope you're enjoying these pictures wherever you are around the world. We know in a lot of the Twitter traffic that we've been following, the Pacific Games is certainly peaking in most of the countries. People are really enjoying what we're experiencing here. It's something special, the Pacific Games. And there we get to see Tanisha Stanton first look at the young 19-year-old. Now just waiting on the officials to make their way out onto the field. And Mark, a breeze here that really won't favour either side. It looks like it's going across the field. Yeah,
it is. I guess we'll soon find out. Of course, we're waiting for the referees. Of course, why can't we start the game?
Well, of course, they get the biggest cheer. We're the officials that finally realise they need to be out in the middle. And they've made their way out there. Favai Neru in charge of this match. Sevens rugby for 2015 at the Pacific Games is underway. Australia playing left to right as you see it. And first possession for the Fijians. Beautiful warm conditions here, and immediately they look to try and get it wide. Identifying the danger. The tackle had to be made, and it was from Simon. Fiji have held on to it, and now they just look to try and push it out wide. The step on the inside from Tasolo. Tasolo steps and goes again. Tasolo's just lost it forward on that occasion, and they'll come back for the scrum, but lovely skills from the Fijians.
Oh, Tasolo was going left and right, and I guess she had the Australian side bamboozled. They didn't really know where she was going. I don't think she did either.
There she is on the replay. You can see the lovely
step.
step.
Great skills. Kept a balance. Left foot, right foot. Oh, just unfortunate. The ball was knocked out of her hands.
Good tackle there from Brooke Walker.
By Walker, yes.
And jersey number 12, the scrum to be fed by Brooke Anderson. So two Brooks on the field. Big scrum from the Fijians, but goes out to the hands of Walker, and now they push it into midfield. Walker loops around to try and create some extra space. Trying to free up the outsides here. Walker, lovely time pass. Here goes Detroit. Detroit can't get away from Tasolo. Quickly recycled there from Beck, the captain. And here come Australia. They've got some numbers out wide. Australia, Fredericks, go for the corner. Here's the first try for Australia. Magical sevens.
Oh, great try by the Aussies. They needed to score first. Fredericks got the ball and just backed their head down and just ran for the try line. A great 5-pointer. Here we see the Australians getting the ball wide, which is important early in the game. Gets to Fredericks. She decided she was going to look out to Etheridge, but just decided to go herself and went all the way.
That's one thing you can't coach is pace, and this Australian side have got plenty of it. She's involved in the Youth Olympic Festival side. Won gold in 2014 in Sydney. She has electric pace as Georgie Fredericks, and she's opened the Australian account. Love the style of sevens play as well. Moving it down that left-hand flank, attracting all the attention of the Fijians and then bringing it back wide.
Well, that's it. You've got to spread the opposition wide. I mean, sevens rugby, you've got plenty of room, so there's no excuse to actually, get closed in.
Nicole Beck, the 27-year-old captain. I'm sure that their little daughter, Sophie, 3-year-old Sophie, will be watching mum. She may be here in Papua New Guinea, actually. But now the Fijians look to strike back in the best possible way. And she's put a foot in touch, unfortunately. I think it was Savu there, showing just how big and strong she is. We've seen quite a bit of Asinate Savu on the World 7 Series this year. And let's just have a look where Yeah, just the foot there, unfortunately. Good tackle coming in from Nikki Etheridge.
And a lucky break for the Aussies. I mean, she's a big girl, powerful runner, and she would have been hard to stop.
7-0. 3.5 gone in the first half, and more possession for the Australians. Here's Walker, New Zealand-born. Brooke Walker gets it back inside to Anderson, so the two Brooks combining. The counter ruck coming in from the Fijians, and they've won the penalty. Savu wants to get on with it, so they just tap and go. That's the beautiful thing about this game of sevens. Educated crowd here in Papua New Guinea. They're enjoying. Here's Tasolo with another break. Support on the inside comes from Ravato. Ravato gets rid of the first. She wanted the pace and looked to try and kick it, hoping that the ball will stay in play. It bounced up. Finally finds its way into touch, but I think that maybe the better option from Ravato may have been to keep ball in hand.
Yeah, she should have kept the ball in hand. I can understand what she was trying to do. She kicked the ball across the field. Again, a powerful runner should have just better off just holding the ball, working across the field, but instead sort of lacked a little bit of confidence and sort of kicked the cross and had the right idea, but it was always going to go into touch.
And they've thrown the ball away here, which has given Australia possession. A quick tap, you can see all the players lined out to the right and the left, and the referee says we'll have it on the mark, please. And so Nicole Beck says let's go from here. Tim Walsh, Australian coach, spends a lot of time on the set pieces, and here is Beck hitting and spinning and offloading to Stanton. Brooke, she's been involved really. Solo tried to make a hit, came in to try and shut it down, and Australia now have got some space out here. Fredericks has scored the first try with a pass out to Etheridge. Etheridge can't get away, the ball has popped up. Another advantage here for the Australians. They tap and go quickly through Beck, Nicole Beck. Like all good captains, just saying follow me. She's lost it forward. The Fijians didn't think they were back to 10, but the ball's been knocked on.
Well, I think the Australians have got to play the game a little bit wider. I mean, the Fijian girls are very, very strong up front and like the physical contact. So we've got to keep the ball in our hands and trying to, I guess, get away from these big Fijian girls.
Brooke going into the contact there of Nagasau. They've still got possession standing in behind the scrum. There's Brooke Walker, who made her debut for the Australians this year in Atlanta for the 7-a-side team. Another big scrum coming in from the Fijians. They've gone around too quick. The penalty given away from Rongetha, their captain, the sweeper. Brooke Walker, New Zealand born, part of that Australian Youth Festival side. In 2014, just 20 years of age. They've got some youth in this Australian side. Here's Beck. Beck not afraid to go into contact. Tackle made by Ratu Uluva. And she is again Walker. Lovely little offload there to Anderson. Going backwards are the Australians, but they're still in possession. Last 30 seconds of the first half. Here goes Stanton. I thought she may have taken it into contact. Opts to give it back to Brooke Anderson. That's a good carry from Brooke Anderson. Ball available. They've got some space out wide, and that's where they need to move it. The Walker knows that. Quick hands there from Fredericks, the try scorer. Now they've got it wide. First real chance for us to see Simon, Talina Simon. What an athlete she is. Simon not too far away from sounding as Frederick taps and goes. The Australians through Beck. Beck's got players on the outside. That's Stanton. Stanton now trying to create some space for Anderson. Brooke Anderson losing her footing. Nagasau in for the counter ruck. And the penalty is now starting to mount against the Fijians. The quick tap from Beck. The offload. Here goes Anderson. Brooke Anderson. Has she got it down? They're going to have a little consultation here between the assistant referee and the referee. Try time. Brooke Anderson gets Australia second.
A great score in the corner. She just got that ball down. The Australians are playing a very physical game rather than trying to run around the Fijians. That was a great try, but geez, they made hard work of it.
Yeah, no clear release, and so Captain Beck said, let's get on with it. And all good teams always punish you just before the break, and that's what Australia have done here. Fiji would have been okay, down 7 points. It's now 12. As we head to Oranges, 2 tries to Australia, Fredericks and Anderson. And at the break, they lead Fiji by 12 points to 0.
Well, I think, you know, the Aussies have got to spread the ball wider. I mean, they were thankful they scored that try right on half-time, but now it's up to Fiji. They're a good side. They've got to work hard. They need to score that first try, particularly in the second half. Otherwise, it may just, you know, the score may just get too much for them. But, yeah, the Australians are playing a very, very physical game rather than using their brains and trying to run around them. I know when I was a bit younger, the last thing I wanted to do was run into Fijians.
Do you think that that's the inexperience that you spoke about earlier, Mark? 8 new debutants on this Australian side.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, when they get tackled by the Fijians after about 3 or 4 times, I realise that maybe we'll go around these guys rather than through them. So they've played well so far to be 12 points in front. They've done it hard. It's still a very, very close game. If Fiji score early, then you know they're right back into it.
You've done coaching in your time. Put your coaching hat on for me. And you are now Alasia Tanivula, the Fijian coach. What do they need to do to try and get back into this match?
Well, like Sevens, you need the football, and you need to hold it for long periods of time to actually build up and put pressure on the opposition. So they just need to control the football, at least in the early stages of this game, to bring themselves back into the game.
Momentum certainly was with the Australians there. The penalty count heavily favouring them in the first 7 minutes. 5 penalties to 0. There's the count, and so I'm sure that's something that the Fijian coach would have addressed. Tim Walsh, he'll be delighted with what he's seen of his young troops here. Australia, New Zealand, England, America, Canada and Brazil have booked their tickets for Rio in 2016, the Olympic Games, the Oceania champs, to be held in November in New Zealand. And I know that Fiji will be using this opportunity as a stepping stone. We're underway in the second half. Kicked and taken by Etheridge for Australia to Walker, who's been very good in the opening 7 minutes, is Brooke Walker. You'll see her with the pigtails wearing jersey number 12 going in there to clear out. Quickly picked up, and the step there from Simon. Simon's got plenty of pace. Brought down though. Lovely footwork from Talina. Simon, the first Aboriginal player to sign a contract with the Australians in sevens, and now finally Fiji have got some possession. Quick hands here, lovely offload from Nagasal. They pop it up and now looking to try and get on the outside, but that's another good tackle from Beck. Fiji a little bit bunched and they want to try and get it wide now. Ron Gether is standing out a little bit wider. If they can get it back, the pop pass here to Ratauluva. The incept there, and here goes Stanton. Tanisha Stanton, the 19-year-old, has represented the state and the country in 17s and 19s netball. Goes across to score her first try, and what I'm sure will become many.
Oh, I hope so. She'll be very, very happy with that. A great work by Tanisha. She just made a couple of tackles and, you know, got up. We'll see it now. She just got up from a tackle and an easy pass. Thank you very much, sir. And she's got enough speed to get to the try line. Well done, Tanisha.
Said that she loves country music and also loves shopping in her spare time. What a moment for the Stanton family. Congratulations. Having your daughter represent their country and then to get her first try from 19. She's 19 years young. Some change has been made as well, so.
I think Tanisha's having a bit of a break.
It's all about depth in the squad, isn't it? Making sure that all 12 players can perform.
Exactly.
Australia with a population of 23,820,000 up against Fiji. 461,000, well, no, 849,000. My apologies. People in Fiji were saying, what are you talking about, Willie? 849,000 in Fiji. And we know how much they love the game of sevens.
700 of them play rugby.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say 700,000 in Fiji play sevens or rugby. Here's Tinai looking for something magical again, the Fijians, and unfortunately it's gone to ground. So the right intention, just the execution not working.
No, they have to hold the football. You know, they've got to not do the risky things, or that was just a simple drop pass. you know, the only way to score tries is to have possession, and you know, Fiji haven't had much right throughout this game.
I've seen her step a whole team. Ravisa, she needed to catch the ball first, and some replacements coming on. Naingato in jersey number 1, Vondo, who's been part of the sevens team, and you can see in jersey number 9 for Fiji is their captain, Ana Maria Rongetha. Alongside her, Brooke Anderson, the 19-year-old from New South Wales. Good scrum from Fiji again. That's been a real positive for the Fijiana, as they like to be referred to in the women's game. They're going backwards, and the referee says we need a penalty here. So Brooke taps and goes again. Beck, rather. Apologies. Nicole Beck, the captain. They've got some players out here of the Australians. The late offload to Simon. Kalina Simon, such an athlete. Murphy is the player that's come on in jersey 5. Etheridge picks it up and gives it to her captain, Nicole Beck. Good patience shown here by Australia. Big tackle coming in from Naingato. And here go Australia. They've got players out to the right. Murphy couldn't get the ball, but it's coming to the hands of Simon. Simon, the chip and the chase. How's the bounce? Simon's over. Try number 4 for Australia. She looked up, no sweeper in behind, and she backed her pace.
Oh, what a terrific try by Simon. She showed a lot of speed right throughout this sevens, and the first time she got an opportunity, kicked ahead, and with a right hand, just took her time. Yep, too easy. That's the way you score tries.
Kalina Simon, the first Aboriginal player to sign a contract with the Australian Rugby Union. We were told that she has electric pace, and she just demonstrated a little bit of that there. Looking to add the conversion is Nicole Beck. That looks great. That's over.
Magnificent start to this tournament by the Australians.
4 tries for the Australians: Fredericks, Anderson, Stanton, and now Simon. Fijians just can't get their hands on the ball. When they have, they've made crucial mistakes. Another restart that hasn't gone the required 10 metres, and so penalty at the halfway mark for the Fijians.
Yeah, the Australians are lucky to be in front. You know, 2 basic mistakes like that, you won't win them a championship.
Tap here from Naingato. There's another pass that hasn't gone to ground. Warm conditions, and it is the first match for these two sides, so you'd expect that there may be the odd mistake here. Here goes Naingato. Big, tall, powerful. The offload to Tinai. And now they look to try and get it wide. Savu standing out. Murphy had to make the tackle, and she did. Now they'll get it out to Savu. Savu's there. She's got pace and power. Savu breaks through. Has she got enough pace to get to the line? You bet she has. A little skip as well in the process. Fiji are on the board. Asinati Savu hasn't had too many chances. She's taken this one.
No, you're dead right. It wasn't the prettiest of tries, and again, the Fijians had to work hard. But Savu finally got an opportunity. I guess a tired Australian defence allowed her to score the first try for Fiji. Well done.
Great chase there coming in from Mahala Murphy as well, putting pressure on her to quickly put the ball down. She's done that. The conversion is successful. 4 tries to 1 in the opening match here of the Pacific Games in Port Moresby at the BSP Stadium. Showing just how dangerous they are, Fiji. The restart, they are the defending champions. Fiji, who beat Samoa 4 years ago when sevens rugby was introduced for the first time in the women's game at the Pacific Games. Big hit coming in from Savu, but they've got it out now to Murphy. Mahala Murphy gets back and makes the tackle as Tesolo. They've thrown it out the back door, and the referee says it's been knocked on by the Fijians. That'll call time on the match. The siren has sounded. Enough time for one last play. Mark Eller, what do you do here? Kick the ball out, save a bit of gas?
I think the Aussie girls would have preferred if he called time out. or time up. But, yep, I think this ball's going straight out, Willie.
Dom Dutoy. She's lightning fast as well. She'll make an entrance at some stage for the Australians, but it's Brooke Anderson. And immediately to ground now, the quick tap and go. It's interesting, isn't it? Because on the series, they allow that to happen. They want the game to carry on, but I suppose here the referees want to make sure that they're accurate and bringing it back to the mark where Rongetha will tap and move. I know you're not a big fan of that, Mark. It should have been play on.
Yeah, I think it should have been play on.
I'm with you. Sabu, the big wide pass out on the flanks here of Fiji, looking to try and score their second try. Sabu scored the first. Now the offload. Here of Fiji. Good tackle that had to be made on Tinai. Ball is recycled. Naingato, they've got players out here. Fiji should score their second. Savu's gone into contact. No real advantage, and they'll tap and move it again. Naingato, 6'2". Draws in some attention. Players are out here. They need to come out to this side. That pass was a speculator, and it's gone into touch. It's a wasted opportunity for the Fijians, I'm sure. But nonetheless, the Australians have taken out the first match of the 2015 Pacific Games, 4 tries to 1. And Australia get the job done, beating Fiji by 29 points to 7 rather.
Yeah, that was a great opening match by the Australians. They played well. Looked like Fiji were going to score in the end, but it showed how just determined they were to keep Fiji to 1 try. They defended very, very well, and I know Tim Walsh should be very happy with the way they performed.
The home team up next. It is Papua New Guinea up against New Caledonia. A repeat of the 3rd and 4th playoff game 4 years ago in Noumea. Beautiful pictures here, you can see. Very good crowd here at the BSP Stadium in Port Moresby. They love their 7s, they love their 9s, they love their sport to the Papua New Guinea people, and they've got out in their thousands to support this magnificent Pacific Games. The facilities are outstanding. The hospitality's been first class. And now we're looking forward to welcoming the host country onto the stadium. The crowd will let them know that they're here. Mark Ella, first game for these two sides as well. Would expect a couple of mistakes. I mean, that's normal in any code, really, isn't it?
It is, and you've got to actually work your way in. So I guess the aim of the first game is to win. Even you've got to win ugly. You just want to get points on the board. And the more they play, the more fluent they'll get, the more cohesion they'll have within the team, and that certainly will get better. But this first day is going to be a little bit scrappy. We've got to expect that. It's a hot day. It's a great venue. But the ground's really hard. So we just got to have a little bit of patience.
Special moment coming up as well, because for PNG, Lynette Quavla is the captain, and she leads them out wearing jersey number 4. Her sister Sharon won a gold medal with the 100-metre hurdles in Noumea 4 years ago, and she's the niece of John Kauniu, who of course is our broadcaster coordinator that looks after us. So special moment for the family.
That's great.
PNG in the orange to the right of your screen up against New Caledonia. New Caledonia dominate the Pacific Games. They've won 1,996 medals. 778 of those have been gold. They've added a few more. That was prior to this Pacific Games starting, so they really have dominated, and they finished 4th last year, or 4 years ago rather, in the 7-a-side for the women's. PNG finishing 3rd. Papua New Guinea playing right to left in the red and grey strip. apologies, New Caledonia to kick off. I was looking down.
A bit colourblind there, Willie.
I was colourblind as well, because PNG, of course, in the orange and red. New Caledonia through Yolane Yungo. Gets us underway. Here is the first touch for Lagano. Straight into contact. Lagano taking no prisoners with her as they look to just get a handle on the ball firstly. Pavala here is their captain. Lynette in jersey number 4. Sampson looks up and sees that there's plenty of players out here to the right. Now they look to move it. Good start from Papua New Guinea. Good to just get your hands on the ball and get into the spirit of the game, also to make contact. And now it's 2-on-1, they get it wide. Popping back on the inside, jersey number 9, Rapila. Kim Lee Rapila holding on just a little bit too long. And now Wanawe gives it to Yengo. Caledonian captain. Nice set piece here too. Oh, now they look to try and break through the first tackle. The counter ruck comes in from PNG. No hands in the ruck. Quickly recycled. They've got numbers here. New Caledonia, if they split it, they should score. The lost ball forward. And here come Papua New Guinea inside their own 22.
Oh, a missed opportunity. They had the open side winger free. All they had to do was get the ball across the line. In sevens, you can't afford to miss those easy opportunities.
Nenda Ipat is a player that I'm looking forward to seeing her get the ball in hand. You can see her standing, shorter player just by the post there, standing in first receiver now. Ipat, Lagona, Joanne Logana. Lagona has got real pace as they get the ball in. Here's the player I was talking about. Ipat steps through. She won't have the pace to get to the try line, but they've still got possession, and now they look to get it wide to where the wingers are. Laguna, she'll step and go, and then the offload. That's brilliant. Sampson's away. Sampson will score PNG's first try. Put that down to the work of Joanne Laguna. Sonny Bill Williams style out the back pass, and Sampson was gone.
Oh, you're dead right. Laguna, unbelievable. She took the 2 players on, and you're right. Sonny Bill Williams, number 2. Oh, great try. Out to Sampson, who just had too much pace under the post. First try for Papua New Guinea.
Cassandra Sampson brought the crowd to their feet. 7.1 million people here in PNG, Papua New Guinea. They'll all be watching and supporting their girls. Great start for the home side.
It is good. The home side, they've got a huge crowd behind them. The Pacific Games have been outstanding, and it's great they scored the first try.
More than 600 islands make up Papua New Guinea's population of 7.1 million. And the provider gets us underway. Lagona with the restart, a little knock on there, and it's little mistakes like that that are so costly.
Yeah, it was always going to be a 50-50. It was just unfortunate. She went for the ball, just dropped it. I thought maybe it may have went back. The referee was a little bit tough on her. Come on, it's only the first game. Give her a break.
Comments coming to you from former Australian legend, Australian great Mark Ella. Here in Port Moresby, 2015, the 15th edition of the Pacific Games. Papua New Guinea have got off to a perfect start. The tap, and then quickly recycled. Here she goes through the gap. Bormai brought down short, reaching out. What does the referee say? Try! Bormai spotted the gap right from the scrum rather, and just raced away.
Oh, that was a fabulous try. She read the play so well. Picked up the ball at the back of the scrum, realised there was a gap, and took off to her left. And she was tackled right on the line, but to her credit, she kept on rolling. Let's have a look. Did she get the ball over the line? Yeah, it's still got to come. Yes, finally, but great anticipation. The referee was right on the spot. Great try.
Good work too. The referee in a very good position to see that the ball was grounded. Dolce Bormai with the second try for Papua New Guinea. Electric pace right from the base of the scrum. This is a very good Papua New Guinea women's side. And the commentator's curse is still working because that hasn't gone 10 metres.
Yeah, we'll probably see plenty of that throughout the competition.
That's when you start praising them. Something like that always happens, doesn't it?
It happens at the highest level, though. I've seen internationals do exactly the same.
How did New Caledonia respond? Population of just over 250,000 enjoying the sport of sevens. Ball in the wrong hand meant that she couldn't fend, and she's unfortunately gone too close to the touchline. Looks like she's got some real pace, though. There's the New Caledonian player, Yengo.
Yeah, just start to run a little bit across field. Probably didn't give herself any options at all, and unfortunately the ball went into touch.
Wanawi in jersey number 10 is their go-to person. Yolene Yengo in jersey 9 for New Caledonia is their captain and playmaker. And speaking of fancy feet, Rapila's got plenty of those. Recycle, she's offside, and there is an advantage here, but Pavla goes in, and the advantage will be over now for Papua New Guinea. They've got a complete line out here. Here is Laguna again. They like her a lot to the crowd because they know that she's forceful. Ipat is there very quickly, gets to her feet, and now taken down in the tackle. The counter ruck coming in from Gaia. Holding on according to the official. Eli taps and goes. New Caledonia desperate to try and score their first try. Here is Alidik. She took some stopping, recycled. New Caledonia trying to create some space on the outside. The counter ruck from PNG. Papua New Guinea coming in. Forces the error. And we've reached the halfway stage of the game.
Yeah, just unfortunately she ran across the field, didn't really have the pace, and therefore isolated herself and made it an easy option for Papua New Guinea.
Good tackle there coming in from Givalari. Wearing shirt number 11. And I'm sure they'll be happy just to get to the break here. And Sydney Wesley, their coach, will be delighted with what he's seen in the first 7 minutes. Here goes Ipat. Ipat out to Laguna. And one more pass again to Laguna. Watch, she'll step and go. Draws in one defender, gets rid of her with ease. Places the ball on the ground, then a turnover, so perhaps New Caledonia will get the final say. Players a little bit bunched though, that's been a problem. It's gone backwards. Claimed by Larry. The pick and go again. And now this is Ipat. Drawing in two defenders, the pop pass up to Rapila. Rapila goes into contact, ball is available. They go again. Pavla says, let's go out this way because that's where the speed is. Laguna has it, the lovely little pop pass from Laguna. She's got some super skills, as has Ipat. Ipat, Laguna's on the outside, she's on the inside, now the offload again. Oh, this is magical from PNG. All 7 players are there, they must score. Laguna gets it, the offload, try number 3 for the home side. Their ability to support is outstanding, and Bomai grabs a double.
Oh, I've got to say, this is the try of the match so far. I mean, probably of the tournament. I mean, that was just great ball control, but you've got to give every credit to the defensive side from New Caledonia. She didn't give up. It was basically 1 against 7, and she still was competitive, and the ball finally got out, and Papua New Guinea obviously got across the line, but all credit to the New Caledonian defence.
Yeah, Vanessa Bowden did her best to get back there. 1 on 6, it's no contest. And Joanne Lagono is a name that you'll hear a lot of over the next 3 days. Silky skills, she is class.
I agree, she's got attitude. She doesn't mind taking the girls on. The way she steps, the way she offloads, she's got all the goods.
Ideal sevens conditions here in Port Moresby at the 15th Pacific Games. 3 tries to PNG. Sampson and Bormai's picked up a brace.
The competition so far has been very good. It's been outstanding. Both sides very competitive. Determined not to give up, and they've shown a lot of character. It's some great rugby.
Sevens, a sport that one of the fastest growing sports in the world. Papua New Guinea will play right to left in the second 7 minutes of this game. She's been one of the real stars, one of the providers, Joanne Lagona. She gets us underway. First possession for New Caledonia if they can control it. Just bounces inside the touchline.
Yeah, a bit of wind behind her back there.
And Jersey Gaia is the player you can see in jersey number 2 for New Caledonia with that coloured hair. And she's very distinctive, very easy to pick out. Great lift as Bood comes around the offload there to Helite. And now they've got some pace. Wanami trying to get on the outside of Lagana, no chance. A little bit high though. They've got to let the ball go, and they have. Yengo wants the ball to be brought back and placed on the mark. Assistant referees come in, so they'll have a bit of a chat. Was the tackle high?
Yeah, I think it was. We'll just see now, she's getting that arm. Yes, it probably was.
Yeah, it was.
And deserving of a penalty. And that, she's
well, it's a yellow card.
Yeah.
So, Joanne Lagona will spend the next 2 minutes in the naughty chair. 7-on-6. New Caledonia in possession. They've got the numerical advantage and need to try and work it now. Big tackle there. Lifted and brought down safely. That was the reason why there wasn't another yellow card, and PNG down to 6 players look to try and break out. That ball needed to go to hand. Rapila goes back and picks it up. Then they go forward to Papua New Guinea. They're down to 6 players. Recycled. Sampson gets it wide. Out of the slips by Ipat. And they're offside, the New Caledonian defence, and so very, very quickly, Bormai, she scored 2, gets it off to Ipat. Ipat's got a player on the outside, it's gone wide. Here comes Cook. Cook for the angle. Cook gets the 4th. The crowd will tell you, PNG are in again. Well, how many times do we see it? 6-on-7. You'd think that Papua New Guinea had 7 players, but look at the work. Draw and pass. Good night, Nurse.
No, Papua New Guinea have done extremely well. As soon as they lost their player, they had control of the possession, and that's one thing that New Caledonia can't afford to do. So they kept their composure, let the ball out wide, and Cook scored. And it was a great control of the football that got them there.
Amelia Cook, their first try of the tournament. 4 tries to Papua New Guinea, finished 3rd in Noumea in 2011. Oh, this is just what the home crowd wanted to see. 26-0. And some changes being made. On comes Alice Alois in jersey number 2. And also Trasila Rema. Going to chase is Alois. Ball bouncing, and you can hear the crowd hoping and praying that they'll get on. The big don't answer and fend there. And now here come New Caledonia. This is what we expect from the New Caledonians. She's broke free. Has she got the pace? It's a foot race now. Defence comes across, and into the tackle goes Yengel. The crowd are enjoying this moment. The break now, again, well, was that high? He lied. Maybe thinking that the tackle was high, and yes, the referees and the assistant agree. The crowd are enjoying this, quickly tapped and taken by Yengel. Yengel's just brought down short. Not back to 10 metres, and here was the chase there from Yengel. She never had the pace. This is one of the quickest Papua New Guinea women's side that I've seen in a very long time. Their ability to get back, and now they look to charge forward. Are they over? Yes, says the referee. They've used the heavy artillery in New Caledonia to score their first try. They get up with a little bit of attitude, and New Caledonia through Waiteru. Amy Waiteru with their first try in jersey 15.
That was a great try. They went 70 metres all the way down the field. They kept control of the football. It's the first time they've played with, I guess, a lot of attitude. They were determined to actually get to the other end. And at the end, it was a fabulous try and deserving.
We're being treated to some special sevens. It's a little bit like the boxing that we'll be watching at some stage over the next few weeks. It's punch and counter punch, isn't it? Two heavyweights.
Oh, it was. That was actually very aggro. The girls were just giving it to each other, and that's what we want to see.
And Marie Waiteru did a great job back on her own goal line to get back and to diffuse the situation initially, and then to run 95 metres to score a try. That's great reward for the hard-working forward. Joanne Lagona is back on the field, so it's 7-on-7. Has been one of the standout players for me as the lady with the ball in hand, Yolene Yengel. Their captain made that beautiful break down the side, and she gets us underway again into the hands of Alapi. Alapi has a little bit of footwork, gets it out to Cook, the try scorer. Ball is available, it's come out too slow. 26-7. 26-5 rather, sorry, the conversion wasn't successful, was it? No. Can Papua New Guinea finish with a wet sail? Coming home the stronger. Lovely little bit of footwork there from Waula. Popped back, the tackles have been made here from New Caledonia. Oh, that pass needed to go to hands. No real advantage, and so New Caledonia may get the last word in this game. Just five tries in the game of sevens. Just goes to show what the people want to see. And
they're all entertaining. And the girls are working hard. And yeah, there's been some spectacular tries, but a few mistakes now. It's obviously we're towards the end of the match, and you know, some of the passes are probably just not sticking.
You made your name in 15s and sevens, which is, well, of course you prefer to play both, but how'd you love to be out there playing sevens at the moment?
Yeah, if I lost about 30 kilos, yeah, I'd love to get out there.
If we're about 20 years younger, too, I suppose.
Exactly.
Last play of this match, game number 2 of 19 here in Port Moresby. The kick and chase. Getting backwards, we're going to be Laguna. Listen to the crowd. I love it when she's got the ball in hand, because she knows only one way, and that's straight through the middle. Here she goes, 2 minutes in the bin. Laguna races away. That is brilliant. You can't coach that. Special. She is special.
She certainly is. She's got attitude, but she backs us off, and that's what rugby's all about. She has a go. She'd like to attack the opposition. You'll see here, she's in her own 22. She's got 2 defenders coming up, step off the left foot and straight through the gap, and then sheer acceleration. She is a gun player, and she's going to be one of the stars of this event.
Well, she's a woman's version of David Campese that you played plenty of rugby with, and I'm sure Campo, if he's watching around the world, will be thrilled to see that.
That was a Papua New Guinea version of the goose step. She did bloody well.
Oh, tremendous sevens here. Delight from the home crowd. And Papua New Guinea get the job done, beating New Caledonia by 33 points to 5.
Yeah, convincing win. They dominated the game right from the start, and that will give the Papua New Guinea girls a lot of confidence leading into this competition.
Mark, how many points is this crowd going to beat to the PNG, the Papua New Guinea women's side, and the men's?
It plays a big part, and certainly, you know, with their home crowd support, and, you know, in the next couple of days they're going to need it. But you know, particularly when they start to play against the bigger nations, you know, the home support will be invaluable. They're getting a huge applause at the moment for their efforts, and so they should.
The applause from this very educated and vocal Papua New Guinea crowd. The next matchup is Samoa against Tahiti. Samoa fifth in the medal tally with 452 over the 15 tournaments that we've had, or 14 to date. 167 of those been gold. And Tahiti, the largest island in the French Polynesia,